Welcome to EL101 Part 6, the WIDA Standards Framework. Indiana adopted the WIDA English Language Development Standards in 2013. Indiana uses the WAPT, WIDA Screener, and WIDA Access Assessments, which will be covered in Part 7. For the purpose of this webinar, we will have a general overview of the WIDA ELD Standards Framework as well as dig deeper into academic language. All educators with English learners in their classroom are responsible for utilizing the WIDA standards and framework to ensure equitable access. The WIDA English Language Development Standards represent the social, instructional, and academic language that students need to engage with peers, educators, and the curriculum in schools. The 5 standards are the following: 1. Social and instructional language, 2. The language of language arts, 3. The language of mathematics, 4. The language of science, and 5. The language of social studies. WIDA draws on multiple theories and approaches in an effort to describe language use in academic context. This is the language that English learners must acquire and negotiate to participate successfully in school. These multiple theories and approaches form a theoretical foundation that support the WIDA standards framework. The WIDA ELD standards framework is shaped by WIDA's can-do philosophy and guiding principles of language development. This presentation will take a look at the WIDA can-do philosophy, the features of academic language, the WIDA performance definitions, and the WIDA can-do descriptors. Let's first look at the WIDA can-do philosophy. WIDA focuses on what students can do. By focusing on assets, educators are able to send a powerful message that students from diverse linguistic, cultural, and experiential backgrounds contribute to the K-12 schools in a beneficial manner and bring valuable resources to the education community. Students' assets can be linguistic, cultural, experiential, or social. English learners contribute different perspectives to our classroom and diverse approaches to learning. English learners have the potential to become bilingual, to develop relationships in a global society, and to form and sustain these positive relationships. This chart breaks down English learners' assets through the 4 categories of linguistic assets, cultural assets, experiential assets, as well as social and emotional. Linguistically, English learners can contribute knowledge of multiple languages, varying representation of ideas, metalinguistic and metacognitive awareness, and diverse strategies for language learning. These linguistic assets will potentially lead to English learners having bilingual or multilingual practices that learners will be able to utilize to communicate effectively across multiple contexts. Culturally, English learners can contribute different perspectives, practices, beliefs, social norms, and ways of thinking into the school setting. This asset has the potential to allow all students to develop multicultural practices as well as varied perspectives, the ability to develop relationships in a global society, and the ability to navigate a variety of socio-cultural contexts. Experientially, English learners can contribute varied life and educational experience, exposure to unique topics, as well as diverse approaches to learning and expressing content knowledge. These experiential contributions have the potential to lead to enrichment of the school curriculum, extracurricular and community opportunities, and success in school and beyond. Socially and emotionally, English learners contribute personal interest and needs, awareness of and empathy for diverse experiences, and knowledge and enrichment of community resources. These contributions have the potential to form and sustain positive relationships and broker meaningful interactions among peers and others within and beyond school. Academic language is viewed as a vehicle for communicating and learning within sociocultural context. The sociocultural context for language use involve the interaction between the student and the language environment, encompassing the register, genre, or text type, topic, task, or situation, and participants' identities and social roles. Academic language can be broken down into 3 categories: discourse, sentences, and words and phrases. We will start from the smallest feature, words and phrases. When thinking about a house, the words or phrases are like the bricks. At this level, the vocabulary usage is explored. The features of this level are general, specific, and technical language, multiple meanings of words and phrases, nuances and shades of meaning, and collocations and idioms. Next, we will move on from the word or phrase level to the sentence level. Sentences can be viewed as the brick walls that support the home. This level includes language forms and conventions. The features here consist of types and variety of grammatical constructions, mechanics of sentence types, fluency of expression, matching language forms to purposes or perspectives, and formulaic and idiomatic expressions. Now that the bricks and walls are complete, the biggest picture or goal is that of the house. The final level of academic language is that of the discourse level. This level is characterized by linguistic complexity. This includes the amount, structure, and density of speech or written text, as well as coherence and cohesion of ideas, and a variety of sentence types to form organized text. The performance definitions further break down the academic language by the 6 levels of language proficiency. These levels are 1 entering, 2 emerging, 3 developing, 4 expanding, 5 bridging, and 6 reaching. This slide shows the receptive language, listening, and reading for grades K through 12. These performance definitions represent how ELs process language to comprehend information, ideas, or concepts in either oral or written communication. Notice how at level 1 under the word or phrase dimension it reads general content related words, while at a level 5, technical and abstract content language is indicated. This slide demonstrates the performance definitions for productive, speaking and writing language by level. Note here how at level 1 under the discourse dimension that words, phrases, or chunks of language is listed, while level 5 can produce multiple complex sentences that are organized, cohesive, and coherent expressions of ideas characteristic of particular content areas. WIDA's can-do descriptors expand the performance definitions by giving suggested indicators in each language domain: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. The can-do descriptors provide examples of what language learners can do at various stages of English language development. The can-do descriptors are found in each of the grade level clusters. An example of a can-do can be found here. In this grade level cluster 6 through 8, the can-do descriptors are given for the domains of reading and writing across the proficiency levels. A specific example from this slide would be that an EL level 2 can be expected to sequence illustrated text of fictional and non-fictional events when reading. Now you have a brief overview of the major components of WIDA and have a better idea of how they work together. EL101 Part 7 will explore the WIDA assessments. As always, if there are any questions, feel free to reach out to a member of our English Learner team at the Indiana Department of Education. Thank you.